Storytelling isn't something that I just picked up. It's something that I grew up with. And long before this was my business, a podcast, YouTube series, some type of creative path, this is how I learned, how I connected with people, and how I understood where I came from. So today's episode is talking about why I choose storytelling as my life's work, and maybe why it kind of chose me first. I grew up with storytelling as a living, breathing thing. I'm an Indigenous woman, and storytelling was how we connected with our ancestors, connected with each other, and had values and beliefs shared. Listening was just as important as telling the story. And those stories would be lessons learned, love, survival, humor, right? It was just such a glorious way to communicate with my family. And stories were relational, not performative. As I got older, stories were something I offered. They were gifts that I would give to my relatives. And it wasn't about publishing, it wasn't about money or anything like that. It was about connection and care. And letting my family know, hey, I remember this. Hey, I see you. And this is what mattered to me at this moment in time. And it was a really great way to engage through storytelling. And ever since I can remember, I've always written something down. Whether it's fragments or full-on ideas or novellas or short stories, whatever, I wrote them, not because it was strategic, not because it was assigned, but because I wanted to share stories. And it has always been a passion of mine to write and to share. When I went to high school, I went to Performing Arts High School, and I learned different ways to tell stories, especially through plays. So in my high school years, I wrote a lot of plays, and I learned how to write about movement through the body. I learned about writing dialogue, like live, beautiful dialogue, and the rhythm in which people can collaborate with each other. And I started to realize that sometimes when you're writing something, it is not just your voice, you are connecting with others, and there is a shared voice in the writing. So that was really interesting to learn at such a young age. And even after school was over and I was done with college and done with high school, I still kept writing. I still kept writing those novels, those novellas, journaling every day, short stories, whatever, because it was just how I connected with everything. It's how I saw everything. Even when nothing came from it externally, internally it meant the world to me to be writing and to be telling some kind of story. And when I started to travel more, it really deepened the why. When I would travel, initially it was just like, I'm going to go to this place and do a listicle for my blog. But then I realized I was connecting with people over stories. And I was connecting with a place over the myths and legends that lived there. And it just kind of took my storytelling passion and clarified it. And storytelling from traveling helped me learn, helped me have greater empathy and compassion for those around me, and also that there's this shared humanity. And I wouldn't have learned that about storytelling if I didn't travel. Storytelling has always been about connection for me. But then as I started Tabitha Bear Studios, it's also about the content as well. But that connection piece really matters to me. So I try to write as relatable topics as I can online, because I think it's really important for even the crappy situations or the lesser known stories to be shared, because somebody's going to connect with it. It's going to resonate with somebody. And that's really important to me, because you're connecting with people you've never met or haven't met yet over stories. They make our history human, and they bring out the experience of a life lived. And some of these stories, they answer questions, they rejoice with a joy, they sound off in fear, and people find that relatable. They connect with it. Like, yes, I'm also afraid of this, or yes, I also find joy in this. And you can tell a story and have it evoke that emotion. And throughout my travels, how I've seen people connect just over stories, it just seemed like it was so worth it to be a storyteller and commit my life to that work. I didn't choose storytelling because I thought it was easy. I am in storytelling because it's woven into the fabric of my being since I was a little kid. So storytelling goes across my family, my culture, traveling, my creativity. It's all there. It is the skill that I constantly return to, and it's the lens that I use to see the world. And it just makes sense to be a storyteller. The goal moving forward is to keep sharing stories and collecting stories and helping others tell stories and helping them find their voice, helping them find the path that it is they're meant to tell a story on. And that is through podcasts, through my writing, through this YouTube series, through Myths and Miles retreats. It is all encompassing in my studio to have stories. That's what truly matters at the end of the day, is the stories that I am telling. Storytelling has followed me through every stage of my life, and I fully anticipate that it will continue to do so. It changes shape every so often, but it never leaves. And choosing storytelling as my life's work, it wasn't about narrowing down a path or niching down or anything like that. It was finally putting a name to it of what it is that I want to do and what it is that I share. And I'm going to keep sharing stories. I'm going to keep collecting stories, and I'm going to make room for people to share their stories too. Thank you so much for watching this video. Give it a like and let me know, like, what is your life's work about? I want to know, because storytelling is my jam, man. So I just want to know, like, what calls out to you that this is what you're doing. This is what you're doing with your life and you're happy to stay committed to it. I'd love to know. See you tomorrow.